2IT Sports talking boxing as always with our guy Robert Exel, the editor-in-chief of boxing.com. Robert, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Rick?
I'm doing well. We have a jam-packed Saturday in the sport of boxing. Most notably, you could say, is the fight between Randall Knockout King Bailey and Devon Alexander. Let's start with Bailey. He had a solid knockout against the once undefeated Mike Jones, who he knocked out in the 11th round, I believe on the undercard of the Manny Pacquiao-Timothy Bradley fight. What did you see in Randall Bailey's fight that night? Because it appeared that he was getting beat to the punch throughout that fight, and then he knocked down Mike Jones in the 10th and then knocked him out in the 11th. So what did you see from him as he is 37 years old now?
Well, he is the hardest hitting man in boxing. I mean, there's nobody there who really has that one-punch knockout power anymore. So he's a rarity. And the last thing to leave a fighter is his power. The speed will go, the legs will go, the friends will go, but the power remains. And Bailey, despite his advanced age, still has that power. He has that great equalizer, which could make a huge difference Saturday night.
Let me correct myself very quickly. He is 38 years old. He was 37 when this fight was supposed to initially occur, but unfortunately it was pushed back to this weekend because of an injury Randall Bailey suffered. So now we turn to Devon Alexander, the man from St. Louis. You know, he is tough, and he looked absolutely fantastic in his last fight against Maidana. Granted, it was 10 rounds. And it was not 12 rounds. Who knows what could have happened in those other two. He looked incredibly good. What can you say about him and his boxing ability?
He's a superb boxer. There's no question about it. And that superb boxing was in evidence when he fought Maidana. That's basically the fight that Devon Alexander is going to have to fight against Randall Bailey. There'll be no letting up. He can't trade with him. He shouldn't need to trade with him. If he boxes, he should win the fight going away. But if he loses his focus for a second or decides he wants to put some hurt on Bailey, it could be disastrous.
What adjectives would you use to describe Devon Alexander? I mean, many people are saying, and I guess this could even be another question for another time, but that Randall Bailey is a pure puncher. But I mean, if you could give me a few terms to describe Devon Alexander's boxing ability.
He's fast. He's smart. He uses the ring exceptionally well. He understands what he can do in the ring. He doesn't extend himself. He works within himself. And because of that, he's a very complete fighter. He's an exciting boxer to watch. He's not a KO artist, but he's a thrilling boxer to watch perform.
Is that the one knack anyone can have on him? One criticism is that he doesn't possess this great knockout power. I mean, he's 23-1. He has 13 knockouts. But, I mean, if you look at Bailey, he has 43 wins. 37 of those are coming by way of knockout. Is that the one criticism people have for Devon Alexander?
Well, I think it's the one criticism people are going to voice. I don't know that it's a legitimate criticism, however. The game is called boxing. It's not called knockout. It's called boxing. Boxing is what it's about. It's the gentlemanly art of self-defense. It's hitting and not getting hit. If one can do that, one will keep on winning. Power is great, and what would boxing be without knockout artists? But the game is called boxing, and it's called boxing for a good reason.
Randall Bailey, by the way, won the vacant IBF 147-pound belt in that fight against Mike Jones, so he is a title holder going into this fight. Overall, I mean, as I said earlier, many people are saying that Randall Bailey is one of the best punchers and one of the most pure punchers that we have seen. Would you agree with that?
Oh, no question about it. That is his gift to boxing. He says he's been working on his punch ever since he's been 15, 16, 17 years old. Yeah. And his punch is what he has going for him. He's not a young man. He was never a slickster. But again, he has that power, and that power can turn things around, as you know, in a millisecond.
Randall Bailey has not lost since 2009. Devon Alexander has not lost since he fought Timothy Bradley, who, you know, if you want to say he beat Manny Pacquiao, he beat Manny Pacquiao. So this fight is on Showtime at 8 Eastern at the Barclays Center. This is the first time since 1931 that Brooklyn will have I believe a title fight. Yeah, the last time Brooklyn had a title fight was in 1931. So what say you, Robert Exell, the editor-in-chief of Boxing.com? Do you think that Devon Alexander comes away with this one, or do you see a surprising upset that and Randall Bailey will win? And if he were to win, it would probably be by knockout. But what do you say?
I think Alexander is going to fight smart. I think Alexander is going to take him the distance, and I think Alexander is going to get the decision.
Do you think that he'll win? I mean, obviously he'll win the majority of rounds. Do you see it being like a 7-5 fight, or do you see it being a blowout with Alexander just outboxing him?
I think it may even be more of a blowout. Alexander's a very different fighter than Mike Jones. He commits to his punches. Unlike Mike Jones, you never really know what he's going to be doing and even what he's doing in the ring. I think Alexander's going to commit to his punches, and I think it's going to be a bit of a wipeout, even though I'd like to see Bailey turn it around. Robert
Exell, the editor-in-chief of Boxing.com. You could follow him on Twitter at boxing_com and follow his great writing at www.boxing.com. Thank you so much, Robert. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, Rick. Thank you.